Welcome everyone. In the last class, we were discussing about bryophytes. Bryophytes, which are also called as amphibians of plant kingdom. They are usually found in moist and shady places. They are archegoniate, that is, they have female sex organs as archegonium. They are embryophytic, that is, zygote develops into embryo. Then they are atracheophytic, that is, absence of vascular system, that is, xylem and phloem. And amphibians they are called because they require both land and water, land to grow and germinate, water for fertilization. The main plant is in the, that is, most of the lifetime the plant is in the gametophytic stage. It produces gametes. With the help of this, it produces gametes, that is, male gamete, sporozoids, biflagellate sporozoids, and it produces female gamete, that is egg. These both male gamete, that is sporozoid, and egg is produced by archegonium and antheridium, that is female and male reproductive organs or sex organs. So these gametes further that is grow to form sporophyte. Sporophyte will grow and produce spores which are homosporous, that is of same kind, and then those spores will germinate into gametophyte. These are the general characters which we have already discussed in the previous video. In this class, we will see the different divisions of bryophyta. We will see the different divisions of bryophyta, that is, bryophyta is divided into 3 divisions, and after that we will see the different uses of bryophyta. Coming to the divisions of bryophyta, that is, the bryophyta is divided into 3 groups. First is Hepatocopsida. The first one is Hepatocopsida. The next is Antherotopsida, and the third is Bryopsida. The bryophyta, the group bryophyta is further divided into many subgroups, that is, first is Hepatocopsida. In this we will study the examples of liverworts. Then we have next Antherotopsida, the second group. In this we have the examples are hornworts, and the last, that is the third group, that is Bryopsida. In this we will study about mosses as example. So bryophytes divided into 3 kingdoms: Hepatocopsida, Antherotopsida and Bryopsida. We will study each one in a little detail. First, that is Hepatocopsida. Hepatocopsida, in this we will be studying about liverworts, the example of the organisms in Hepatocopsida. Liverworts are the examples. Liverworts. So liverworts, those are also found in moist and shady places. All bryophytes, whether it is Hepatocopsida, that is belonging to Hepatocopsida, or whether the organisms belongs to Antherocopsida, or whether the organisms belongs to Bryopsida, whatever the class, all are bryophytes, and all of them will be living in moist and shady places because they require water for their fertilization. They require water for their fertilization. So this lives in moist and shady places like near streams of the bank, on the barks of the trees, in the woody areas, or where on the rocks which are near the beaches or which are near the water bodies, the rocks which are near water bodies or the beaches. So they are mostly present in moist and shady areas where moisture is present, water is available. Now coming to the structure of the body structure, that is, here the body structure is thalloid, that is, mass of cell is present but with little differentiation. Mass of cell is present but with little differentiation. The body is thalloid, that is just mass of cells, and they are prostrate, that is, they will be lying on the ground. As they does not have vascular system, as bryophytes does not have vascular system, they cannot be of larger height. They will be of very shorter height, almost lying on the ground, because there is no vascular tissues, that is xylem and phloem, transporting water from roots to different heights. Because in plants will be having a little height. Now, so that water which is from the ground needs to be transported to uppermost part of the plant. So that is done by vascular tissues, that is xylem and phloem. Here there is no xylem and phloem, so that is why the length of the plant will not be large. They are very small, almost, that is they are prostrates, that is they will be lying on the ground itself, lying on the ground itself. And dorsiventral, that is they have both the sides, dorsal side as well as ventral side. Dorsal side is a little different when compared to upper, that is here if we see this one is the dorsal side, this one is the ventral side, with a little difference on both the sides. Here the body is thallus like. For example, if this is the ground, they are prostrating, just lying on the ground, very little height, and they have both the sides. This is the dorsal side, this is the ventral side. They are closely appressed to substratum. This is the ground. They are closely appressed to the ground. So that is why, because of this one, they are prostrating, and they are dorsiventral. Prostrating, that is lying on the ground, they doesn't have much height, and dorsiventral, both the sides are there, dorsal side as well as the ventral side, and both of them will be attached to the substratum. That substratum can be rock, or it can be soil, or it can be woody areas, bark of the trees, it can be anywhere, but it will be that wherever it is, it will be moist and shady. It will be moist and shady. Now, this was where they were, that is the habitat. Then we have discussed the body structure, how they will be. Proper differentiation is not seen, but still the body is thallus like with little differentiation, that is they have rhizoids, they have sex organs, they have leaf like structures. So still the thyroid with little differentiation. Now coming to this reproduction, these liverworts, they reproduce by three methods. They reproduce vegetatively, as well as asexually, as well as sexually. They can reproduce by all three methods. By vegetative reproduction, that is by fragmentation. For example, just a part will get detached from the plant. This is an example, just leafy structures, these are rhizoids. These are root-like structures called as rhizoids. This is the leafy part. Here this is the female reproductive organ. Here this is the male reproductive organ. So, but not totally root, stems, leaves will be there, but little differentiation, that is root-like structures, rhizoids, this leafy part is present. Now, that is a part of the body, a part of the thallus, because this whole is thallus, not properly differentiated. So, a part of this thallus gets detached, and that detached part will again change into a new plant. It will again change into a new plant. For example, it was like attached only. Now, a little part will be detached from the plant. This will grow into this fragment will grow into a new plant. So, this is called as vegetative, that is, this is called as fragmentation. So, vegetative reproduction takes place by fragmentation, in which a part of thalli gets separated from parent. Then that part will again change into a new plant, that is fragmentation. So, vegetative reproduction in liverworts takes place by fragmentation. Then asexual reproduction also takes place asexual reproduction takes place with the help of asexual buds. With the help of asexual buds. Those are called as gemmae. The name of that asexual buds is gemmae. Singular is gemmae, plural is gemma. Here asexual reproduction is taking place because of certain structures, cup-like structures. Those are called as buds, and the name of that bud is gemmae. Asexual reproduction takes place with the help of asexual buds, which are called as gemmae. These gemmae are multicellular, they are, that is photosynthetic. That means when they are photosynthetic, that means they will be green in color. They will be green in color. So asexual reproduction takes place with the help of asexual buds. Those are called as gemmae. These gemmae, here we see this bud-like, cup-like structures. Here also, we see this cup-like structures. These cup-like structures are nothing but gemmae. These are asexual buds. So during asexual reproduction on this thallus, here cup-like structures will grow. Cup-like structures will grow. So those cup-like structures are nothing but gemmae. These gemmae are asexual buds. These buds will detach and fall on the ground. The buds will detach and fall on the ground, and they will germinate into a new organism. This will germinate into new organism. So this is how asexual reproduction takes place. Asexual reproduction, this fragmentation is vegetative method. This by gemmae is asexual method. Asexual method. Then they also reproduce sexually. They also reproduce sexually. Sexually, they have both the organs, that is male sex organ and female sex organ. Male sex organ is antheridium and female sex organ is archegonium. Here on this we have the stalk-like structure. Then this is archegoniophore. This is archegonia, that is the female sex organ. This one is the antheridiophore and this is the male sex organ. This is the male sex organ which is attached to this leaf-like structure or the thallus with the help of a stalk-like structure, that is antheridiophore. This is the female sex organ archegonium attached to this thallus, leaf-like thallus, with the help of a stalk-like structure called as archegoniophore. So this is the female thalli and this is the male thalli. So sometimes some organisms male thalli will be different and female thalli will be different. And in few organisms in liverworts, here male and female thalli will be on the same thallus. This is the thallus. Here we have antheridium and here we have archegonium on the same thallus. In some organisms, this male thalli will be different and female thalli will be different. So this is the female sex organ and this is the male sex organ. This male sex organ produces male gametes. It produces male gametes. Sorry, this is female. It produces female gamete, that is egg. It produces male gamete, that is sporozoids. It produces male gametes, that is sporozoids. So this male gametes and female gamete fuses and forms zygote. Zygote will change into sporophyte. In sexual reproduction, we have male sex organ, that is antheridium, female sex organ, that is archegonium. Antheridium will produce male gamete, that is sporozoid. Archegonium will produce female gamete, that is egg. So both this egg and this sporozoid fuses and forms zygote, Whenever male and female gamete fuses, the zygote will be formed. Okay, then zygote will further grow into sporophyte. Sporophyte means spore producing. Gametophyte means gamete producing. So it will show both the stages. Bryophyte shows both the stages, gametophytic stage as well as sporophytic stage. So this one they also show alternation of generation. Sometimes it shows sporophytic stage, at sometimes it shows gametophytic stage. So this alternation of generation is seen in liverworts as well. So zygote, which is nothing but fusion of male and female gamete, changes to sporophyte. Sporophyte is a structure which has three parts. First is foot, second is seta, and the third is capsule. Foot, seta and capsule. So we will study this structure a little more in detail in the coming groups, but this sporophyte is a structure which has three parts: foot, seta and capsule. Inside this, as it is a sporophyte, it will produce spores. So the sporophyte, inside the capsule, spores will be produced. Inside the capsule, meiosis takes place. Inside the capsule, the nucleus divides mitotically and produce many number of smaller units, which are nothing but those are called as spores. Those smaller units are called as spores. So sporophyte will be producing spores. Sporophyte has three parts: foot, seta and capsule. Inside this capsule, the nucleus undergoes meiosis and produce small structures, those are called as spores. So those spores, the capsule will be there. It is like this capsule part. So inside this capsule, many spores will be formed. Nucleus will undergo by meiosis and many spores will be formed. After spores are formed, the capsule burst open and spores will be coming out. So that spores, bursting of this or release of spores is done by structure called as elater. On this capsule, at the inside, structure called as elaters will be present, which will be helping in coming out of spores from the capsule. Inside this capsule, some structure will be present which is called as elater. This elater will be helping in coming out of spores. The spores will be reaching the ground and the spores will germinate into gametophyte. The spores, when they fall from the capsule, when the capsule burst opens because of these elaters, the spores will be falling on the ground. So when they reach the ground, they take the nutrients and minerals from the ground and they grow into a free living gametophyte. So first it is in gametophytic stage. That is, it produces male gamete and female gamete. Male and female gamete fuses and forms zygote. Zygote will change into sporophyte, a structure called as sporophyte. That structure will be having three parts: foot, seta and capsule. Inside this capsule, that is meiosis takes place and spores will be formed. After the formation of spores, elaters will help in bursting of the capsule. When the capsule bursts, the spores will be releasing on the ground. So when they release on the ground, they will germinate into gametophyte. They will take the nutrients and germinate into gametophyte. So this is how sexual reproduction takes place. So liverworts, they are mostly prostrate, that is lying on the ground. Dorsiventral, which have both the sides, upper side as well as the lower side, that is dorsal side and ventral side, and they will be closely attached to the substratum. So reproduction, body is thalloid, Reproduction takes place by fragmentation or by gemma cups, which is found small cup-like structures formed on the thallus, and by, that is sexual reproduction by gametophytes, that is archegonium and antheridium as the sex organs. They produces male and female gametes which fuses, form zygote, zygote changes to sporophyte, sporophyte will produce spores, spores will come out, release, fall on the ground, and that spores will change into gametophyte. This gametophyte will again produce male gamete, female gamete, then zygote, then like this. It will continue its life cycle. So, it shows both gametophytic stage as well as sporophytic stage. So, that is why this liverworts will also show alternation of generation. Then coming to the next group, that is Antherotopsida. Antherotopsida, in this the example is hornworts. The example is hornworts. So, like this Hepatocopsida or the liverworts, hornworts are also thalloid, that is the body is thallus-like, they do not show much differentiation, they have root-like structures, rhizoids, and same they have this male and female sex organs, that is antheridium and archegonium. Those antheridium and archegonium will produce male and female gametes. Those male and female gametes combines and form zygote. Zygote will change into sporophyte. The sporophyte is elongated and horn-like. The sporophyte is elongated and horn-like. So, that is why the name is given as hornworts. Almost similar with a little difference. The sporophyte, the shape is little horn-like. So, that is why it is called as hornworts. The sporophyte will have three part: foot, capsule and intercalary meristematic zone. The sporophyte will have three parts, that is foot, capsule and intercalary meristematic zone. Inside this capsule, as it is sporophyte, inside the capsule it produces spores. It produces spores. Spores will come out from the capsule with the help of this pseudo-elaters. Pseudo-elaters, not proper elaters. Here elaters were present. Here something, pseudo means something like elater is present. They are not actual elaters, but something like elaters are present. So, those structure will be helping in the breaking of the capsule and releasing of the spores. When the spores form on the ground, they take the nutrients from the ground and change into gametophyte. Change into gametophyte. So, same process as in the liverworts, but here sporophyte is elongated and horn-like, and instead of elaters they have pseudo-elaters. They have structures called which resembles like elaters, they are not actually elaters, and with the help of the pseudo-elaters the capsule will burst open and release the spores. Spores, when they fall on the ground, they will germinate into a new organism, that is gametophytic stage. Gametophytic stage. So, in this class we have dealt with two groups, that is Hepatocopsida and Antherotopsida. In the next class we will take up another last group, that is Bryopsida, and then we will see the uses of bryophytes.